Hi there, my name's Ashley Flowers. I have a mental health and addictions website as well as a page and a group on Facebook. I like to talk to people about troubles that I've had with mental health, ways that I've gotten through it, things I've felt. And so I had just a little bit about me. When I was 17, I had my first panic attack, which has led to a lifetime of anxiety and panic attacks and a couple breakdowns, major breakdowns. Um, I like to speak out because I'm here. I'm alive. I'm living my life. I have three children. I've been through deaths. I've been through things in my life and I'm still here to talk about it. I've been to the point where I wanted to end it and that wasn't, the end of my story. So this is a big reason why I like to share is because there's a lot of people out there that are having hard times with mental health, maybe don't understand what's going on with them. That was my big problem, was I did not understand what anxiety was. I didn't understand what was going on in my head or my body. I also like to speak out because even if you look up, say, bad thoughts or um, things that are bothering you inside your mind, there's still not a lot of things out there that will tell you the extremes that your mind can go to. And I like to tell people that what are my extremes and what has actually really haunted me inside my anxiety breakdowns, to let you know that the deep, dark things that go through our mind, um, it's not the end all, it's not you. And it's not just, anxiety is not just being scared of a test or being scared to go outside. There's a lot of dark things anxiety can make your mind think, and you're not a bad person because of that. So that was another reason why I like to speak out, because I like to tell the things that a lot of people don't want to share or can't share. And I feel if I speak, maybe somebody, maybe even just one person, might be able to say, hey, this isn't me, but it's not, um, I'm not I'm not the one feeling these things. My mind, everything that goes through my mind isn't me. And maybe they'll be able to ask for help before going to extremes. So today, I want to talk about, let's see here. I had it. So, like, emotional numbness. Emotional numbness is something, and derealization. So, emotional numbness and derealization are two things that really made me feel like I was going off the deep end when I was having bad anxiety attacks or if I had a breakdown. These are the two things that nobody really talks to you about and you don't hear about. So when you feel them along or after an anxiety attack or a panic attack or a breakdown, you really, really start to feel that you're disconnected and that you might actually just be going crazy. I always thought, oh, maybe this is how crazy people start. Maybe this is, uh, where a psychopath begins, is in my mind, and this is what's happening. Because after, and what, a lot of people won't say, but after an anxiety attack or a breakdown or a panic attack, okay, our body during that time is very stressed out. Our body is using every emotion, every feeling that it has. So afterwards, it is very tired. Um, it's very lethargic. It's just like as if you had a really bad cold, like your body, your mind and your body doesn't want to work the same after a big anxiety attack. So feeling of numbness, what you need to know. I am reading a little bit, but I do have a lot of personal experiences. So it says most people have experienced the sensation of being emotionally numb at least once in their lifetime, usually after or during a very stressful event, anxiety, or a lot of other things, but anxiety is a big one. Most people, this involves a temporary feeling of disconnection or disassociation from the body and the outside world. So, this is how I felt after I have a big anxiety attack. And now I know these feelings. So now I know triggers. I know to not put so much of myself into that feeling. But after anxiety attack, you can go really numb. And if you have, like, I used to have like weeks where I just have really strong anxiety. When I'm sleeping, I'll wake up and I'm just blah, like really blah. Like I can't feel. And I don't know if anybody's had that before, but it's a very scary sensation. It's a very scary feeling. If I'd go up to my daughters and I wouldn't be able to feel emotional attachment to them. My husband, no emotional attachment. I really felt not numb as a sensation on my fingers or my toes, but numb inside my soul, inside my heart. And that's one of the scariest feelings you can ever have, especially if you're having bad thoughts. And then after that, or as well as having those bad thoughts at the same time, you're numb. So that makes you feel like you're not the person that you were a year ago, 5 minutes ago. And it can be really, really scary. I want you to know that you're not alone. I also want you to know that these feelings pass. After an anxiety, you might have these feelings of numbness or derealization where you don't feel real. You don't feel like you connect with the people in the room or even the room you're sitting in. All of these are our body's defenses. So they're going, okay, well, we need to protect you because, our anxiety is telling our body that there's a threat, right? So, it builds up all of this adrenaline and everything to protect ourselves. And then all of our resources are used. This is how I see it myself, is that your resources are all used up. So afterwards, you're going to have a feeling of numbness. You're going to have a feeling of derealization because your body's trying to protect you. These feelings, please, they have nothing to do with you having bad thoughts. They have nothing to do with you as a person. So I'm going to tell you a couple of symptoms. What are the symptoms it says? Now, these are like some I've had for myself and some are just on this list, I'll tell you. So common symptoms and signs associated with emotional numbness. Distress. Distress is a big one. Feeling disconnected from one's body or thoughts. So disassociation. So yeah, you might have a conversation, but you feel like you're not even in the conversation. You know what I mean? Like we try to put on a happy face and it's really hard, but and then you go and you have this conversation with your loved ones or friends, or you go out and you have a great time. The whole time you don't feel yourself. You feel disconnected. And I used to go home and I'd just cry in my bathroom because it felt like I was fake all day long. Like I wasn't my own person and I didn't know who I was. I didn't want to talk to people about it. I didn't want to tell people because what are you trying to say? It's hard to tell somebody that these feelings that you feel like, oh, I can't feel emotion or I'm a horrible person because these horrible things are going through my mind. You are not a horrible person and emotion will come back. And please don't be scared to talk to people. Even if it's me, you can message me on YouTube. You can message me on my group on Facebook. I'll put all the links under the YouTube video. Please just speak out because it's very important. Because I had my major breakdown, 7 years ago now. And I had one about 7 years before that. And I'm still here, okay? I'm still here to get myself through it as well as other people. So feeling detached from the outside world, derealization, feeling like a stranger or an outsider in one's own life, distorted or confused sense of time. That is true because you don't really it's not that you don't know what time it is, but everything just seems unreal, like not real. Feeling empty or hollow, I've been through those. So my big thing that I do when I feel emotional numbness, now that I know what it is, and I know when it comes, it's a lot easier. So once you can learn more about your anxiety, more about your panic attacks, more about your depression, the that's you having power. It's giving you power back, because the more I've studied, the more I've listened, the more I've learned about my condition, I have so much more power over my life. I can have an anxiety attack. I know when it's coming. I know why it's there, and I talk myself through it. Same with the numbness. So empty, feeling empty and hollow. I've been there. It's horrible. It's a horrible, horrible. I will not wish that on anybody in the world. It's a horrible feeling. But if you have loved ones, what I do suggest you to do, which is really good, is if you have loved ones, if you have good friends, if you have pets, stay close to them physically. So like I hug my daughters a lot more. I cuddle my husband a lot more. Especially if I can't feel it emotionally, then I can feel the love physically. So that has been a real like game changer for me and lifesaver when it comes to emotional numbness, is that you physically stay close to people. You know, instead of just walking with your boyfriend, girlfriend, or whatever it is, hold their hand, you know, kiss more. When you go to see your mom, don't just walk away, give her a hug and a kiss. If you're talking on the phone, tell people how much you love them. You know, just get, you. That's the thing, is that you're never going to change. And just because you're having these thoughts or these sensations, that is not you. You will get back to you. Feeling meaningless, worthless, or hopeless. Feeling as though one's sleepwalking through the everyday activity. That's why I said it feels like you're just like fake all day, right? Lack of emotional senses, processing, and responses. Lack of bodily senses, progression and internal signs. Altered body perceptions. Feeling a loss of control over what one does or says. Because you're kind of just not being yourself. You're kind of just being this, you know, you're just in a shell, and the shell's walking around. This is a big one. Feeling crazy or mentally unstable. That is one of the most scariest parts for me, is that, like I said, my derealization, my numbness would come after a big spell of anxiety, a big breakdown, or even just panic attack. The next day I would have no want. It was almost like little bouts of depression, but not in my mind, in my body, if that makes sense, where I just couldn't attach myself to anything. And if we let things go untreated, and I did let mine go untreated for quite some time, I got completely manic. I wasn't telling people what was going on in my mind, because I thought, they're going to think I'm crazy. I will share another video on my YouTube about what happened to me when I had my breakdown and what was going through my mind, just to show people out there that you're not alone. These scary thoughts can get really, really scary, as well as postpartum video I'll also share. I want to be able to have these videos get out there so people can understand that there is life after a mental breakdown, and there's life living with a mental illness. I live with anxiety every day. Sometimes it's doesn't bother me at all, and then sometimes it'll come out of nowhere, and just when I think that I've conquered it. So yeah, I hope you like these videos, and you can share them with people that need it, or just get them out there. But thank you for listening to me about derealization and numbness. And I hope I clarified some of the things for you. If you have any questions at all, please message me and I will answer them for sure. Thanks, guys.